last but not least, Beyond the Infinite 2 Minutes. Bruce, look, I want to hear your plot synopsis on this because, in all fairness, I did not give you enough credit at the top. Like you said, you saw this maybe a week and a half before Eric and I did. You actually you actually had me say, hey, let's go check out this movie. And if you didn't say, hey, let's go check out this movie, I would have completely ignored this email. So I want you to lead off this segment because this is all you, and I'm indebted to you for this one.
Okay, so you know how Christopher Nolan has spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars and hours 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 trying to make these movies that'll bend your mind?
Minus Memento.
Do you remember how Primer did it for only a few dollars?
Yeah.
It did it really well, but it was also really serious and really mind-bendy and was really hard to figure out, but not a ton of fun. This is that, but fun. And basically the concept is this. It starts out with a guy. He's getting off work at this cafe. He lives in an apartment upstairs from the cafe. He goes home, he walks upstairs to his apartment, walks in. On the computer screen, he sees himself. His self is 2 minutes in the future saying, I'm 2 minutes in the future. Hey, look under your thing. There's something there you needed. He looks and goes, oh, here's what I needed. He goes, go downstairs. The guy's like, what the heck is going on? He walks back downstairs to the place he works, and there's a screen there. And it's himself walking into the apartment a few minutes ago like we just saw it. And the camera didn't cut. The camera followed him from his apartment downstairs to see himself on the screen where we just saw him from the apartment upstairs. This is the beginning concept, and it's like, what is it? Katamari Damacy, that game where you roll a ball and you slowly pick up the entire world with you as you roll. Well, this is kind of like that with time travel because he keeps gathering people. People keep getting sucked into this time travel world, and each 2 minutes, each time they go back to the apartment, they add a weird wrinkle. And by the end, and this is all goofy and fun and weird. And by the time you get to the end, so much weird shit's happened in the 70 minutes that you've watched that you're either going to be absolutely in love with this movie or you're going to be like, or be totally confused at the same time, I think. but I think this is so much fun.
Okay, so a quick correction, Bruce. I'm looking on IMDb. We're going to get to you in 2 seconds, Eric. He's a cafe owner, not a cafe worker. The reason why
I didn't know he was the owner.
Yeah, I inferred that he was the owner, but I think Bruce, you had a really accurate read because he acts like a cafe employee.
Yeah, he doesn't act like the owner.
I would be the employee. I just want to. I want to take things easy. So it's interesting that he's the owner. Eric Holmes, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
I just wanted to point out that this movie is not hard to follow. Because usually with time travel movies, especially something like Primer, like it's easy to get lost with what's happening because there's so much and there's a bunch of weird stuff happening here. It's pretty easy to follow because where it gets tough is when you start thinking of how did they shoot this movie? And that's when it starts melting your mind because it's the entire movie is one shot. This felt like a Michel Gondry movie. Like,
wait, is the entire movie one shot?
Yeah, the entire thing's one shot.
No, there has to be cuts, right?
I'm sure there are hidden, but it's presented as one shot.
Really?
The entire movie's only
I'm an idiot. It's presented as a oneer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And even if it's not a oneer, there's a lot of sequences that are very uninterrupted.
Okay.
Yeah, so like they'll carry the TV with them and set it behind them, so the people in the past is in this TV and the people in the future is in that TV. So you have to figure as you're watching this, that's cool. They're just doing playback, but they're playing back something that they haven't done yet. and even if they did record this and hide the cuts somewhere, the amount of timing that needs to be, like, we're hitting it play and there's long shots where they can't hide and edit. They have to have that timing. So, right. Cause they got to play, like, I have some ideas on how they might have shot this. And even those ideas is like still really difficult to pull off. And the filmmaking in this is just amazing. Like, mind blowing, and almost to the point where, like, because it's real simple setup. You're talking to yourself in that TV 2 minutes in the past. You're talking in this TV 2 minutes in the future. Pretty simple as you're following it. But then once you start thinking of, their time travel doesn't exist. So how did they shoot this? and then that's when your brain starts breaking down. It's like, holy crap, they did magic. They literally made magic.
Eric, your take on it is a lot more analytical than mine. I had none of these thoughts entered my brain. The one, maybe because I'm stupid, but one of the things that actually entered my brain was all of us watch a lot of movies. I can't remember having more fun in my life watching this movie as far as movies go. This is easily, I'm trying to think of a more enjoyable experience than this. I can't. It's maybe, I'm thinking maybe something like that I got swept away in. I know you guys love Belle, but I haven't been this blown away by a movie since Millennium Actress. Okay, so Beyond the Infinite 2 Minutes just swept me away. I'm glad that you have that take, Eric, because this puts it on a completely different layer regarding the technical. Bruce, I'm just wondering, where did this hit you? Were you being swept away by the story, or were you kind of like Eric, where you were trying to piece things together like a detective as far as the technical stuff goes?
I hit a point where I became Eric's brain, and that is, like, I don't know, it's about a 15 or 20 minutes in, like, you're just enjoying the ride and the story and, like, the weirdness of it, and then all of a sudden I was like, wait, how the fuck did they do that shot? Wait, how are they timing that out so the actor knows when that clip is coming in that they just filmed 2 minutes ago to get it to come on that? Wait, what? And then, yeah. And then,
when TV has a power cord that fucking long.
Yeah, that too. But I mean, and I kind of had ebb and flow, where I'd kind of flow out of the story for a minute, which makes me want to rewatch this, which is great because it is totally rewatchable. Maybe I want to rewatch it again so I could just enjoy the story part, and then another time just to watch the technical part. One other thing I'll point out, there's some really fun stuff at the end of this with some Chekhov's gun stuff going on. Yeah, there's some stuff where a whole bunch of objects are being told from the future to get in the past, and I'm not going to say what happens with those, but it's really fun. And I would make one big suggestion. If you have seen One Cut of the Dead and loved it, watch this movie. If you haven't seen One Cut of the Dead and you love this, go watch that movie. They're not the same, but I think that they capture the same kind of joyous movie making kind of insanity and mind alteringness. I think they both live in a similar headspace.
I would say watch One Cut of the Dead first, and then watch this, because I think if you watch this, then One Cut of the Dead, because One Cut of the Dead is really good. Yeah. If you watch One Cut of the Dead after this, that's like eating McDonald's after having a prime rib. It doesn't quite work.
Yeah, there's something to that for sure.
Okay, yeah, for me, Beyond the Infinite 2 Minutes, I put this on Letterboxd. I initially gave it 5 stars, and then I gave it 4.5 because I was thinking maybe it's low 5. But I'm thinking I just had so much fun in this, and I'm gonna watch this movie probably 100 times in my life. Probably, I gave it a 5-star banger for me. Eric, rating
this is a perfect 69% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's a perfect 69%. So I'm guessing that's a 5-star for you, Eric. That's it.
That's a 69 star. This movie's
awesome.
We'll go 5 stars. This movie's just it's fun. The laser guns at the end. Don't want to give that away, but when that comes up, you'll know. Yeah. And it gets almost ridiculous to an Ed Wood level. This movie, I lean on the technical aspects, which is amazing, but it's also really fun too. So enjoy yourself.
Yeah, this is a textbook on what can be achieved on a micro budget. Like, you can get this much fun and inventiveness on essentially hardly any budget. And that just goes to show you that it's imagination. It's not necessarily the budget. I give it 5 stars too. And I also want to mention, and I'm not going to talk about what happens, but also using the time travel thing as part of asking somebody out on a date and how that plays out. I loved that too.
Yeah, that's the story of my life. Fun. That section. That is definitely the story of my bleeping life. Here's another couple things. It sounds like a very gimmicky plot, but I think it goes back to what Eric was saying. This is a movie, don't let the gimmick, the one-trick pony aspect or the gimmick of the plot dissuade you from watching the movie. It is a very easy to understand movie. And number 2, if you're a very busy person, 70 minutes is heaven. This movie is 70 bleeping minutes, and it feels like a 90-minute movie. It feels like a meal, right, Eric?
It could have been so much better if it was 4 hours and in black and white. That's all I'm gonna say.
4 hours.
Look, they came out with the director's
soundtrack.
And I'm mispronouncing the name. The director is Junta Yamaguchi, Junta, or maybe Junta Yamaguchi. I don't know how to pronounce that name, but it is a fantastic film. Right now, as we speak, it's available for rent or to purchase on VOD, digital, whatever. After watching this, I immediately purchased the movie for $10. It's on digital. It's on my Amazon Prime Video. I'm gonna go on my Fire Stick and watch some more stuff after recording this. Bruce, you had a couple of things you wanted to say?
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm waiting. I'm hoping to get a DVD or Blu-ray here in the United States because I'm hoping there's a making of. Because I want to see the making of on this.
Absolutely. The only thing that's going to be better than this movie is the making of this movie.
All right, yeah. So that is okay. Again, I'm so this is actually one of last week was Lunana. I was gonna say Lunana, a yak in the basement, but Lunana, a yak in the classroom. Why did I say yak in the basement? But that was a great recommendation. This is just a great recommendation as well. Yeah. Two like weeks of just great stuff. I'm so excited. I hope more people get to watch Beyond the Infinite 2 Minutes.
Actually,
yes,
I'm thinking of it. I kind of want to bump this down to 4.5 because Pam Zam wasn't in it. But go ahead.
Yes, she of that Lunana film. She's very, very good, and she's a natural.